Hey, how are you, Natalie Tikalsky?
I'm doing pretty well today. How are you?
Good. I'm going to be developing a product throughout this year in an entrepreneurship class I'm taking. I'm working with 4 other classmates from other local high schools. First, my team and I interviewed 40 kids and parents about their struggles they had with school lunches. One of the common themes we heard was that school lunches and packed lunches tend to be unhealthy and unsatisfying, but it takes a lot of time to go and pack a different healthy lunch every day. We used some of the recurring problems to come up with an outline of a product that could solve them. Can I show you a little demo and ask you some questions about it?
Yeah, sure. Feel free. I'm at your disposal.
Okay. So, as you can see, first off, we've got it's our meal questionnaire. You've got
Okay.
your protein count, carb count, how many meals per week you want, fat count, just like customizability stuff. And then
Okay.
you would scroll down, and then you've got your preferred fruits and dietary restrictions. So I don't have any dietary restrictions or preferred fruits, so I'll just press finish, and then over to the next screen where it shows me, let's say today is Monday, November 8th. I'll
Mhm.
click November 8th. And let's say I want to know more about the panini. I'll click the info button. It'll bring up its info. I'll know what I need to know about it. And then I decide I like it and I press add. And then I'll scroll down. It shows me my preferred fruits. And then um, it shows me my preferred fruits. Let's say I want an orange. I'll hit the plus and it adds an orange to the right. And that just goes on and on and on for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we were thinking that for delivery, we would deliver to the entrance of your school and kind of drop it off at a table in the on a table in the entrance so that when you got to school it was ready to go and you didn't have to pack anything and that it was just all done for you. Um,
Perfect.
this is what we were thinking for like what it would look like. You've got your separated sections, your meal, your protein, your side, your fruit, all that stuff.
Okay, can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
Okay, would you have to like pay for the container or would like the container come with the meal? And then would you like reuse the container? So would you have to like return it or is it just like because you wouldn't want like if it was like metal, you wouldn't want to keep those if you
Right.
got mealy.
So it's kind of a bad picture because it would be cardboard and plastic. Like,
Okay.
not like I don't know, a weird cardboard, but yeah. But we
Okay.
were thinking about doing some kind of less disposable where we would, if you left it at the table, we would once you were done eating, we would pick it back up the next day so that way it could be reused and that would help the environment and it would give you a discount on your next order. What do you think about that?
That actually sounds like a pretty good idea. It kind of reminds me of like the refillable like soda cups kind of an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually sounds really smart. And I think that would definitely encourage like better use. And there are definitely people that would do that for sure.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was going to say for this slide, but we already covered that.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is for pricing. This is what we were thinking. For 1 and 2 meals a week, it would be more expensive, $12.50. But
Uh-huh.
as you got more meals per week, like 3 and 4, it would be cheaper, like 12% off and 21% off. What do
All
you
right.
And then we were also thinking of a rolling discount where if you stay with us for a full month or 2 weeks, then your next 2 weeks are cheaper because you've already been with us and that encourages you to stay with us. What do you think about that?
I think that like from the perspective of the buyer, I think that would be really helpful because it would encourage you to stay on like long term, like also knowing that like if you stay with it, you'll have like cheaper meals and also help on the side of the producer as well, just because you're encouraging that like long term, um, I guess, commitment to your company and your food. And as long as your quality is matching your prices, then I think you'll definitely have a lot of success with that.
Okay. So, yeah, now I'm going to ask you some questions about this overall. So, I'm going to start out with, if this service was on the market right now, would you pay for it?
Um, Me personally, it would probably depend. Right now, because I'm not doing anything like job wise, probably not, just because like I do have like a lot of extracurriculars and stuff, and so I know a lot of other people do too, and with like the schedules that they have, it's a lot harder to like have a job at the same time. Um, and also because, as I mentioned in our first interview, I do I feel like do pretty well at packing my own healthy meals. Um, so I guess if I had to give a solid answer, it would probably be no.
Okay. And then, yeah, you already said why. So, now I'm going to ask you some questions about the questionnaire. Are there
Okay.
any questions that you think we should ask in the questionnaire? Like anything that you think we're missing that you think would be useful?
Um, Let me think. I think right now it looks really good. I definitely appreciate the preferred fruits because I know that's something that a lot of people are particular about. I know a lot of people um, have like really specific tendencies towards like specific fruits, both flavor and texture wise. So I think that's really good, and you should keep that in there. And then also, really smart to ask about dietary restrictions because I definitely think that plays a really large role in like a lot of different meals. And I like that you have like option because that I think that would definitely open it up to like a lot more people. Um, I don't know if I personally know very much about like my preferred protein count, carb count, fat count. So if I were to answer this in real life, I would probably just be guesstimating on that or have to do my own research um, on what that means, just if that's
Right.
helpful. But I definitely think like there's not too much outside of those three things that I can think of that you would really need to ask. That wise, I mean, maybe calories if people think about that, but I know I personally don't, so I don't know.
So, are you kind of saying that we should also have, like, just a I don't really care option if you don't really watch
I
that?
mean, honestly, yeah, you could definitely do that. That would definitely open them up to like a lot more options. So like for the people that are like, or maybe even just like giving a definition of what like being like an example of like a food in this protein count would be like this or something. Like that's like a lot of work, I know, but yeah, something along those lines. I don't know.
Okay. Are there any questions that you would change that you think are like on the right track but don't really hit that need?
Um, I don't think so. I like the format right now, and I like that there's not too many questions. Like I feel like you shouldn't add many more or really take away anything else, just because I feel like that might be like overwhelming. So I think you have a good amount of questions right now. And like I said before, like maybe just like giving examples for people that don't know, like what their protein, carb, or fat count like would be, or else, and maybe adding in like calories if that's easier for people to track.
Okay. What food options would you want out of a service like this? Like, what are you looking for?
For me personally, I would probably say some of my favorite like healthier meals that I enjoy would probably be like good salads, like salads that have like a source of protein in them as well, like maybe like a chicken salad, or like more diverse salads. Like I feel like you can do a lot with salads. I like salads. Um, Also, sandwiches. There's a lot you can do with sandwiches. I'm personally a pretty big fan of like Panera, so like pretty much anything you could find on Panera's thing and make it healthy, that would be like something that I would definitely go for. So like soups, sandwiches, um, maybe even pastas, just stuff that like you would want to have in your body, like that wouldn't like affect, I guess, anything athletic, at least for me personally.
Okay, good answer. What feature was the most and least important to you?
I think for me personally, the feature that was most important, probably, well, I don't have any dietary restrictions, so that's not important to me. I think if I did have dietary restrictions, that would be most important. Um, but other than that, probably the preferred fruits. Because honestly, I like pretty much any fruit, but that's definitely something like I don't really, like I said before, like I don't really know what I would put for anything else. And then just like yeah, like the costs. It's helpful to see the costs.
Right, okay.
Sorry, do you want me to pick one?
Oh, no, that's fine. That works too.
Okay.
Okay. What could you say could be improved about existing features? Like anything that's kind of, but you think you would add something?
I think maybe um adding a few more fruit options, maybe like if you had, or maybe making it like a drop down menu kind of a thing, maybe, so that it's not as like there's not as much information in the same place if you did add more, so that it still looked like um succinct,
Right,
which
okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. And so, would you rather we deliver to your school or to your house?
um probably to my school, to the school for sure, because I know for me personally, I have a lot of like early morning clubs. Sometimes I have activities. So sometimes I take the bus and sometimes I drive to school. So it'd be nice to know that it's like at the school, at least at the start of this, like at start time, so I know where it is, because I feel like if it was like home delivery, there might be days where like I might miss it or something.
Right, okay. And so, for like variety and meal choice options, would you rather have 15 meals to choose from each week for the entire week and that's it? Like, that's all you get to choose from? Or three separate meals to choose from each day? It still equals to 15, but one, you can choose from 15 of the same meals each day, or each. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think I got it. So like, oh, that one's hard. I think for me personally, I'm definitely someone who like has a hard time picking from a large amount of choices. So for me, I think it would be more helpful if I just had a definite like three per day, and that would also, I think, add a little bit more variety to it as well, and kind of just force me to pick things that like maybe I don't like as much and try some new things, which I think I would personally appreciate. So I think I would go with the 3 days or the three
Okay.
options.
Well, Natalie, thank you for letting me talk to you about this product, and we'll definitely make some of the changes you mentioned. Would you be willing to talk in the future if I have more questions?
Yes, of course. I'd be happy to.
All right.